We're talking about ley lines today. I'm Candace with A Course in Miracles, of Course in Miracles, and I want to talk to you about what the ley lines are, how to heal the ley lines, and what we are actually healing. One thing I want you to think about first is that the Aboriginals said that they were the dream lines of God. That's my favorite way to think of them. Or like these, it's where like time started, or these hot spots where like God started the design, and then like life like was able to like grow around it based on these major energetic points. One thing most people know about ley lines is that if you look at the pyramids or any major sacred structure, they are always on ley lines, but they actually cover the entire planet Earth. And they are the energetic, cardiovascular, lymphatic, circulatory system of Mother Earth. They literally flow her water and her blood and her life force through the North and the South poles. It goes up, it flushes through, it gets cleared, and it comes back out. Okay. And as a society, we already know what we have done to the earth. It's all of our problems and our fault, and it is our job to clean it up. No one is coming to save us. If you have been called to heal your land, if you have been called to learn about the ley lines, I have too, and that is how I got this download. One of the major things that we need to talk about is once you find the ley lines in your area, is how you're going to clean them. But before we can get to that, I want to talk about how the ley lines have changed. And I don't mean that they have changed physically, I mean that they have changed energetically. So with our last eclipse that we had, it was the one in 2007 and the one I think in 2020 the last two eclipses that we have, I have them here, the way that they went. I have a podcast here that you can listen to about the Midwest and the eclipse, okay? The way that they crossed, those are the areas that people are moving to change Earth, okay? And the new Earth shift, and where we need to heal the land the most to make the most impact. And it moved from major cities, and individuals started collecting in places like Detroit, where I am, and Ohio. And if you've moved to the Midwest or down south near these eclipse lines, we're talking to you. You did that for a reason, okay? You're supposed to be there. And we all gathered into these spaces, and now it's our jobs to clean them. And it's very important, okay? So I know we're using the word lines, but think of ley lines as tubes or streams of energy. Water flows on the planet. Now, most people believe in the biz of the spiritual biz, okay, that these ley lines, man knew about them before, and that like when they discovered the Americas, right? They knew these power points on this land already, and they built civilizations next to them, okay? That's why the Detroit River has and near water, you're always going to find civilization. It's a draw for a reason. It's a sacred site for a reason, okay? But these are tubes or streams of energy flows in the physical and in the non-physical. So imagine just light flowing through, a full current of energy sweeping through. The point of the ley lines is to keep the earth clean. So they draw in energy that's negative, and then they pull out downloads and new information to keep the earth and all of the individuals on the earth clean and vibrant and healthy and nourished. Pollution, wars, displacement, poverty, drugs, crime, all of these things have created tears, breaks, blocks. What do I have down here? Parasites in the water, backed up the water, leaks in the water. And we have to clean those up. I have we got to clean them up, y'all. And if you think of it like if this were a vein, it could be a block in the artery. It could be a clog, it could be, which means it'll bulge. It could be a leak. I mean, it's bleeding out. The energy is not contained, so it's not all getting to where it needs to. It could be literally something that is inside of it, degrading it from the inside. And we have all participated with our fights and our arguments in our home, and our depressions and our sadnesses, and our ups and our downs, and our kicking people off the lands, and murdering people through wars. on slavery and all of the pain and the trauma that humanity has faced has gone into that land and caused clogs and disarray. Some of this is also outside interference. So on our bodies and on this land and in our bodies, the same process happens. And this is what we consider demons in, if you were a Christian, you would consider this demons, okay? Or maybe a Muslim, there are negative energies in every major religion. What negative energy is, if you think about it, when you have a cold, it's because maybe you were outside and you didn't protect your body enough, and you were vulnerable, or you didn't eat right and you didn't get a lot of sleep, or you were out drinking and something left your system vulnerable for a parasite or a virus or something to get in, right? And it just attacks your immune system, the healthy vessels in your cells, to feed on them. And it's just like a shark in water that smells blood. It's not necessarily because it doesn't like you. It's just you were open to attack, right? Same thing goes with negative energy and parasites. It's the same idea. The shame and the depression and the stuckness and the false beliefs that we have all incurred, they actually are like parasites. They leave space. They create tears and blocks in our auras and our systems where energy can get in and feed off of it, where the leak is. It's just you are a fish in water with a lot of different things, and everybody want to eat. And if you don't know that they're there, you are a really delicious meal. You got to clean your body. You got to clean this house. You got to clean this land. You got to clean this everything, this office, this everything. Okay. So all of our spaces are jam packed with the energies of the people who lived there before, what was on the land prior to them. All of the information from Mother Earth since our time began is there. And it's our job to clear it and beautify it and make it fit into work and bring heaven to earth. Okay. Yeah. So I want you to think of each major portal or line, that every line I want you to consider like a current. And I want you to download every line, the whole line, okay? You can get the history of everything that happened in that space, okay? If you follow that line, you can follow where man went, what he did, all the wars, all of it, the information is in the line. If you have a problem assessing it, it's probably a block there or a tear there or an interference there that's leaking the information that needs to be impacted, but it's all accessible. Where the lines cross are hot zones, very high energetic points, okay? And some of them have been infiltrated and negative energy is just flowing through it, okay? It depends on if it is how close it is to your land, if you are allowed to heal that information, because it depends on who put it there. But just know that these cross points are they're impactful energy. All of the space in between the points is potential energy. The defined lines have information in them that tell you what they are. The center is potential energy. It's just the center of the nucleus of the atom, which is just a neutron, which is neutral. It's just a place for potential. We implant into the potential. It flows out to the ley lines. The ley lines' job is to flow into the center and clear that field that is in between it. If the ley line has a clog, and then the field where the stuff is in the center has clogs from fights and wars and tears, then the flow can't go this way and it can't go that way, and it's not flowing right. All right. And that is what we're here to clear. Understanding this is really important. So how do you actually fix the land we talk about next? Now, in the last video about time, I told you that we were stuck in time because I got to say this before I talk about clearing. You got to know what else to clear. There are man-made lines on top of the natural lines on Earth. And if you think of just somebody taking a stick and digging it in the earth and creating a groove there over and over again through countless years of us doing the same patterns over and over again, the energy is now stuck in this direction, even though it's supposed to flow out larger than that. And we have to dismantle some of these man-made constructs to make them less powerful for this new earth. They are not going to be there anymore. So you won't be able to fit into that current. You will be able, I would say, it sounds negative when I say that, but in reality, it's going to free you up from only having to go in one direction and be stuck there. Okay. It's actually going to free up the energy. So, okay. look at the map. The link is in the description of the ley lines. You got to find your closest ley line, especially if you are in these areas and you are being called to do this and you're on this video because you were looking for ley lines. You need to look for the closest ley lines to you. You need to go there. You need to ask for permission. You need to see what the ley line needs. If that ley line section that you're at is clear, great. Bring with permission. And if it's legal, because if you are like in Australia, you can't just go and pick up rocks and take them home. That is illegal. Do not do that. But if you are in a place where you can take sand, rocks, natural elements that are beautiful, you're going to bring them back. And what you want to do is get them to the center of the ley lines. From all of the ley lines in the area, PowerPoints especially, center. You can create totems. You can create art. You could plant them. You could bury them. You got to get them to the center. You can use them in your healing work, anything from these ley lines with permission, in your art, in your sessions, in what you give to your clients to help charge them up. Their ley lines are the most important to them though. So if they're in your area, if it's someone who lives in Hawaii and you're in Michigan, they should be getting the nourishment from their portion of the land. Okay. And it goes back to what I talked about again in the last video about time. If you haven't watched that yet, Vive axis, which is our energetic cord. We have an umbilical cord that's connected to earth and it's attached directly to the land you were born on, even if it's in the middle of a hospital. You can move this to the land you feel most home in, and you should repair this so that you get all of the nourishment from earth. It's in the download for the light code for this episode that you can get on the website. When you subscribe, doesn't cost anything. You can do this exercise. I have that there. What it does is allows you to get the full nourishment from your land, the full abundance from your land, and you've got to clear down and you've got to clear up. If you go to areas that are like high poverty points, for instance, there's a cloud of darkness over that land, keeping the people inside of it stuck. Mostly it's because of the thoughts and their belief systems. They go up and they've got to collect somewhere. It's like a dark cloud. But also the idea of the people who built the place was because you can't afford to live because there's not enough resources. All of the constructs that go into the idea of a piece of land and the people who live on it have to exist above it. And there is interference and something keeping this cloud locked in to keep people stuck so that the energy doesn't flow. The pets are affected in that area. All animals are affected in that area. All people are affected in the area. Everything is affected. All nature is affected in that area. When you see big swaths of land that have disease and trees, this is a part of that, guys. Okay. So all of it is affected. Another way you're going to clear the land is you are going to bring in high energy items into the things that you do. It does not mean expensive, but it does mean made with intention. And one of the important factors for the new earth is entrepreneurship and going back to making real things that hold value, that are tangible, that have a high resonance. To have a high resonance, someone had to have made it with love and care. They were not taken advantage of in the making of this product. Every single product that you have in your home, on your body, on your land, on the earth, the energy of every individual that touched it, grew it, nurtured it, looked after it, made it, all of that is in that product. If those people are being taken advantage of, that information is on your vessel, in your home, on your land, and must be cleared. You have to buy things and find things that you find value in, which puts the energy of value in it and upticks the energy on earth. There is a collaboration with earth now. And what does that mean? It looks very interesting to me when I talk about this, because I've had to really come to terms with this. You can't just be all in spirit. You've got to get to earth and put things tangibly on earth to change the frequency, including inside systems that need to stay but need to change. There has to be an education system. It does not need to be attached to government, but there needs to be some sort of definement in place that goes to the new earth. And it requires entrepreneurs and individuals who want to impact the earth with new ideas to come up and to come forward. All parties in every industry that is required on earth have light workers, have people who want to bring heaven to earth. And those are going to be encouraged and nourished with the earth and growing. And that is what we are to work on. And as you heal this land, you heal all, you start, it bleeds out into the area around you. It requires another way you're going to do this is drawing it out, and you can map this out, and you can use symbols, and you can use art to heal the land. All of this works. Your creativity is what is the key to doing this, because your imagination, you could do anything with your imagination. That is the point. Bring beauty into the rituals of every day. Bring beauty into the rituals of the healing, and you have got a thing. And it's going to help all of us, okay? You can visit these places as portals. You can visit ley lines, and you can go to those energetic spots, and you can sit there and you can travel to other spots. And they are portals. Some of these portals don't lead to great places. Feel into the energy. Ley lines have not just been placed by mankind, but also other species as they lived on the planet. Something with that can interfere, but cannot be displaced or moved. One, we aren't powerful enough. Two, it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't belong there. Three, unlike man-made, human-made constructs, which are fixed and will be broken with the system, these are malleable, so they won't. And they've lived on this earth, so they have a stake in the field, okay? But with that, every field ain't for you. Every portal ain't for you. You can end up somewhere you don't want to be. Remember that. And there's a balance on earth of dark and light, negative and positive. You don't get to choose what is on earth to fit your fancy. It's about balance. It's not about it. We're trying to balance the yin yang. We're not trying to overcome it. Okay. So you can't take away all the darkness. You've got to leave the balance intact. You ask for permission from the land and the wards on the land. They know how to heal the land. What they want from you is collaboration. So you really need to be talking to your wards. Your house has wards, your land has wards. It's connected to the nature and the trees. The more cement in the area, the quieter they are, because they don't have a place. They're in the ground though, okay? And they're in the air, okay? And all the nature that comes through that can communicate it. But you have to ensure that you're working with the wards, because your job is to do the earth stuff that they can't do tangibly. They do the other stuff. And so they'll tell you what to do. It's a connection, okay? Align with the heavenly universe. Align with the divine pathway, and you do not have to worry about doing something wrong. So you work with the heavenly universe. That's the Course in Miracles in me. And you will do the right thing for the land. Other than that, that is all I have for this. Again, there's a download, there are images, and there is an activation for this. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.